Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 113 of my brand new Comics Haul series, where I show you guys all the new books that I pick up at my local comic shop every single week, and I let you know everything you need to know about every single issue. So really small haul this week. It's going to be a quick one. I've only got 3 actual issues. It's 2 from Marvel and then 1 from Image, which will actually be pretty helpful for me. I've got admittedly some back reading to do. From the last few weeks, I've been getting really behind with finals at school and everything, so I'll have some time to get caught up on those and everything and be back up to date with my reading. We'll start off here though with this Marvel previews book. I don't usually show these in the hauls, but yeah, Marvel puts out these previews book every single month that you can just get for free and look at the checklist in the back and everything. So we've got a new Immortal Thor series starting up. Obviously, these are always really helpful for me though. Ever since I started collecting single issues from Marvel, every single week I've been looking at these. And biggest thing in August, which is this for, is Fall of X tie-ins, right? Uncanny Avengers. Let me know if you guys are planning on getting on board that whole Fall of X thing, because I was looking at all these different tie-ins that they're coming out with. I've put out a couple videos on the channel covering them and everything, because it's pretty interesting, these new series they're putting out. But as of now, since I'm not reading X-Men, I think I'll stick to that and just skip Fall of X altogether, which, I don't know, there's 10 or 20 series that they've already announced that are tying in. I feel like I'm really dodging something here. So let me know how many tie-ins you guys are planning on getting. I'm curious, because that's such a big event. Let's hop into the actual issues here, though. First one from Marvel. Second issue of a new miniseries that they started a couple weeks ago. This one is Extreme Venomverse number 2. So, as far as I know, I think this one is going to come out every couple weeks, leading up to Death of the Venomverse. That's what it's leading into. By introducing all these new characters, 3 in every issue, you get 3 short stories, right, by different creative teams. Who are all going to have some role to play in the upcoming Death of the Venomverse event, which we've had all the covers for that now revealed and everything, but it looks like this issue we've got 3 new characters, some sort of cyborg Venom, some weird monster hybrid, and a Black Cat version of the character. The last issue, to be completely honest, was not my favorite, but I feel like it's not really fair to judge this type of series off of every single issue, because they vary a lot. It depends on which story, it depends on which creators are on it, and I've heard this one's a lot better, right? So these are always kind of fun. Honestly, I've liked all of the Edge of Venomverse, at the Edge of Spider-Verse stuff that they've done in the past. Just introducing interesting new characters and stuff. Obviously, none of them are going to matter too much, most likely, because they're not going to be very important in the actual Death of the Venomverse event, and they're not going to be main characters. But you know how it is. These are always fun to get, and for some reason, the Venom, the Venom variants of characters appeal to me a lot more than Spider-Verse characters do. Maybe just because they're a little bit fresher. I didn't pick up that new Edge of Spider-Verse miniseries, but that's Edge of Venomverse number 2. Looking forward to that Venomverse event. Next up, though, the last one I got from Marvel this week. This is, I think, the penultimate issue of the series, but this one is Thor. It's number 34. 35 is supposed to end off the series, and then we've got an annual that bridges the gap between the end of this run and the start of that new Immortal Thor run by Al Ewing, right? So this has really been going downhill, in my opinion. I've heard a lot of people saying the same thing. It's kind of unfortunate, because Donny Cates did seem to be building to something really big. Excuse me. He seemed to be building to something really big in his run before he just mysteriously dropped off of this and of his Hulk run. So Marvel's been scrambling to get other creators on board to finish off what he started. With this, I think it really just went downhill in a bad way for them. Because Torun Grønbekk has been writing this to finish it off, but although she's been trying to do a good job of wrapping up that whole Thanos plot thread where Thor saw the future version of Thanos that would kill him and the rest of the Marvel universe, with all the Infinity Stones embedded in Mjolnir, that whole crazy thing that it seemed was going to be the climax of Donny Cates' Thor run is suddenly now just thrown in the trash, right? He's not coming back to Thor. They've got a new creative team on board and everything. So Thanos is involved, which is kind of cool, but it's just a weird situation where it feels the stakes are really high because Doctor Doom is involved, Hela's involved. The plot is honestly pretty convoluted. There's a lot going on, and it plays into a lot of backstory going back really far. But at the same time, it's doesn't feel high stakes because it's not an event at all. It's just a regular issue of an ongoing series that probably not too many people are reading, at least not as many as they used to ever since Donny Cates dropped off. So yeah, very last minute of Marvel. It seems usually they have their stuff very together, but Donny Cates leaving was not something expected, and it's really showing in their books. Hulk, the whole ending to that was also really weird. So strange hiccup in Marvel's publishing history, right? We'll see how they recover with the new Hulk and Thor series, which I'm honestly looking forward to. But yeah, and what the deal is with Donny Cates. Next up, though, last issue I picked up this week was Nightclub issue number 5. So this is the penultimate issue of this series also. It's a 6-issue miniseries from Frank Miller and Juan Ramirez from Image Comics, right? And the special thing about this one, the reason everyone's been buying it is because it's $1.99. But also, I'd say it's like a pretty good story. It's definitely nothing special, and I wouldn't expect anything better from a comic that costs $2, right? Like, you can't expect them to blow you away with such a cheap price. But it's still enjoyable, right? Like, even if it costs $2, you got to drop it if it's just the worst comic ever. And Mark Miller obviously has a lot of publishing history, and the concept behind the series is just that the Nightclub is this group of 3 like vampire kids. One of them was recruited by this guy on his deathbed, who offered him to become a vampire to like join his team, right? Which would save his life since he's like imbued with these superhuman powers, which they've been exploring throughout the whole series and figuring out what they can do with. I know this first series is only supposed to be 6 issues, but I don't know if they're planning on doing like another arc after that or anything. And I was also seeing in the solicits for the next issue that it costs $4 because they're doing like a double-sized issue. So fair enough on that. I mean, it won't be the special $2 price that they started the series to experiment with to begin with. But yeah, Nightclub. Let me know if you guys are still picking this up. I think it's got a pretty big following because of that price tag. Those were the 3 issues I picked up this week, though. I know it was a really small week for me. I don't think the publishers came out with too much, though, in general. DC had some stuff, but I don't think there were too many like new number 1 series or anything too special. So, light week. Let me know what you guys picked up this week. What was your favorite issue? If you've already read them, down in the comment section below. And I'll see you next week for next week's haul. Bye, guys.